Okay, I've started recording again. Um, are you able to see it again?
Yes.
My screen? Okay,
Yes.
great. And you can hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. So we'll get started. I have lots of ground to cover. So hopefully we are able to cover the whole thing and have time for questions. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's webinar: 3 unstoppable trends in IT careers. Aligning your temperament with the right tech career track, climbing the ladder versus strategic lateral moves, success without stress model for all IT professionals, staying technical versus moving to people process, future proofing your IT skill set in the age of AI and outsourcing, and finally building a personalized blueprint for career security and satisfaction. Feel free to stop me and ask questions. Um, so here we go. Okay, you already knew this. AI would be one of the trends. So AI is everywhere. Everybody is talking about AI. There is no Zoom meeting we go to without talking about AI. Even in work settings, it's the same. And the value of AI comes from rewiring how companies run, meaning if it can change the workflow, change the way work is done fundamentally. So lots of companies doing lots of experiments, and they are creating new AI focused roles. In one survey, 89% of organizations are creating, it's a survey from Cloud Zero. They are creating new AI related jobs, especially in cloud, data engineering, cybersecurity. So that's a trend. You already knew this. There was a time when degrees were preferred. That time is gone because by the time you complete your degree, it's already obsolete. So hiring has shifted to niche, high value capabilities. So if you know how to work with generative AI, you have a cloud security certification or a DevSecOps, those are more valuable than a 4-year degree. Excuse me. So entry level roles are evolving or being automated. There's a term you would hear nowadays called vibe coding. Traditionally, whenever you actually wrote a program, you wrote it on your own. Vibe coding is where you take help of AI, generative AI, like Microsoft Copilot, even ChatGPT and others, Cursor, many of the developers. So sometimes you will see for software engineers, they will actually ask for, do you have vibe coding experience? So companies now prefer specialists over generalists, and some skills are going obsolete because that's totally being delegated to AI. Um, And then finally, the traditional career ladder where you were a junior, then senior, then manager, that's collapsing. Many of the entry level roles are getting completely delegated to AI, and there is no ladder now. And so modern carriers, they look like lattices, not straight up. You might make lateral moves, zigzag across specialties. You may do freelance gig, hybrid roles. So many ways. There was a time when I started my career, we used to think that, okay, let's join a good company and stay there for as long as we can. Um, but that's not the case. And the new generation thinks very different. I talked to my daughter, and she's doing a music degree, and I asked her that how are you going to maintain the lifestyle we have once you come out. She said, what makes you think that I'll just do a job? I'll be doing 6 side gigs. So that's how the new generation thinks, and maybe we need to upgrade our thinking like that. So we are of various generations, right? Where some of us have 20, 30 years experience, some are maybe 10 years, some are just starting. And we get used to the things we experience at work. And we stay in our comfort zones. We don't really realize until it hits us that your skill is obsolete. So my personal experience has been I worked for G for a long time, almost 17 years as a contractor employee, and I was very, very comfortable in my role. I was an expert, spent the 10,000 hours, 10 years, all those things. But I started
Common.
noticing that um, the the role that was being done, a lot of operational work was getting offshore, and it was just a matter of time where uh, you won't be getting paid what you were, because somebody offshore would be able to do that at half your rate, maybe one fourth, maybe even less. I have a I have a friend. He has a startup, and he was telling me that he has hired some AWS DevOps engineers for $10 per hour, somebody who has 10 years experience, and hire another one who has maybe 1, 2 years experience for $2 per hour. So that's what happens in IT. You have to keep reinventing yourself, and the faster you realize it's coming, the uh, more proactive you'll be. So you have to also keep yourself alert to what's happening in the market, who is hiring, what's going on, and
Vikram.
reach out to people who um, who are where you want to be.
Can we mute Rishi, please?
Yeah, ऋषि को म्यूट कर
Sorry.
देना जरा.
Can we
ऋषि को
mute
म्यूट कर
Rishi?
दो.
Okay, just a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, he's muted himself. Okay. So if you recognize these early signs, then you can actually make pivots. And it's going to be like this. When I started my career, ERP used to be a thing. Then cloud became a thing. Now AI is the thing, and maybe tomorrow quantum computers might be a thing, right? Or something else. The rate at which the world is changing, it's very difficult to keep track unless you are alert, and you discuss these things with. Okay. So how do you avoid career stagnation? So this is a book I came across. This it's called Hard Workers Work Hard and Networkers Move Up. So you must keep building professional connections, open opportunities, because what this author told in the presentation that I heard is that she used to be at a company, she worked the hardest, but she was not getting promoted. And when she talked to her super boss that I have met every goal, met or exceeded every goal you have given me for last 7 years, so am I not getting promoted? And he said that most of the promotion decisions actually look for other things. It's how good your network is. Are you visible in other departments? Do your skip levels know you? So just doing your work is just 10%. You have to have that exposure, and you have to have the image to actually even be considered for promotion. And of course, continuous learning goes without saying. keep acquiring new skills that keeps you competitive in your career, and keep monitoring industry trends, and don't just focus on one area. We also call this, do I become a specialist or a generalist? Be a specialist in one area and have a general idea about other areas. As I give the example that learn how to drive the car, you don't need to be an automobile engineer. That much you should have, that much knowledge you should have, how everything works together. Okay. So this is a very interesting topic about aligning your temperament. Each of us has basic nature, and we must choose our work based on our nature. Some of us are um, very good with people talking. They can be in such jobs where they interact a lot with people. Some of us are more research oriented. They want to go deep into things and not really be bothered with other people. So based on your temperament, you choose your track. And usually I'll say when I started, then I didn't want to do anything with people. I just wanted to talk to machines. Machines are predictable. If they don't work, you can debug them, find out why they didn't work. People are messy. You tell them to do something, they won't do it. Why they won't do it, you won't know. They won't tell you. If you ask them, they'll give you some vague reason. So I thought better focus on developing my skills on talking to machines. But over the years, I felt that I was always put in roles where I had to interact with customers, and my bosses thought I had very good people skills, and they always put me there. Um, so if you want to focus on a development track, if you like creativity, iteration, um, making things from scratch, building things, then development track is for you. There is infrastructure track where you don't have to develop much, but you have to do a lot of planning. You have to have knowledge of hardware, networks, clouds, how much downtime costs to a business, all those things. Then of course you have the new AI track, where you have curiosity and adaptability, where you have to actually subdue your ego to work with the machine, and understand that it is programmed to do certain things. So if you like the cutting edge and want to explore new things, then maybe AI track is for you. If you have great communication and organization skills, then project management is for you. You can coordinate projects and client solutions, and you can manage customer expectations. If you have influencing and solutioning skills, then you can be in pre-sales. You can become a solutions architect. Um, Pre-sales, helping salespeople convince the customer that your company has the capability to meet the customer needs. So this is important because sometimes we take up roles based on how much it pays, and we think that okay, I'll just pick this up and learn the skills. But if it is anti to your nature, it it is just a lot of pain and suffering. So very, very important to do this. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, the one thing I'd say, Vikram, is uh, even this view, it may very well be tinged with the flavor of the present. 3 years from now, I don't know, maybe 3 is not the right number. Even that view of what is what the various tracks are may be totally different. Now, who would have thought, for example, with AI? I mean, we've been using AI tools, generative AI tools for the past 3 years, but
Right.
nobody ever predicted it's going to go this fast, this different. So it's very the only thing I would say, keeping yourself relevant and to avoid stagnation. You said something about staying true to your nature. It's you have to actually push yourself to
Yeah.
embrace change. So that you look at change. Change affects people. You're trying to minimize the effect of change on you, especially the change that you not brought on yourself. Right? You have to embrace it, not just tolerate it, and by for sure, not just accept it.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. We don't know what the future has. We didn't know Gen AI would be such a big thing. It started like late 2022, and it just has the mind share of most of the world. Um, so yeah, we won't know, but the whole idea is you develop those skills which are going to help you, irrespective of how the future of work is going to be. So there are certain skills like critical thinking, assessment skills, influencing skills. Those are going to help you. If you develop them, those are going to help you whatever happens in the future. I subscribe to Nassim Taleb's philosophy, where he says that you can never tell when the earthquake is going to come, but you can easily tell what is going to break when the earthquake comes. So it's very easy to measure fragility. It's very difficult to predict disaster. So do not latch on to things which are fragile. You can easily tell what is fragile and what is not.
So Vikram, just to add on to what you just said, and I
So
think that
go ahead.
your prior slide was really important because, Kirti, also to what you had said, that it may be a little bit outdated the way that it is stated, but truly, if you think about these temperaments, these are, I'm going to call what I would say as our core values or our core
Mhm.
direction. And then
Correct.
as you continue to transform, you should be looking, what I hear Vikram saying is, don't pigeonhole yourself even into your core tenement,
Mhm.
but actually look at where could you actually transform to or progress to. Even with AI, you're still going to need,
Yep.
while we call it development today, you're really a builder. It's how do you build on that technology as the technology continues to transform. And you may see other skills of yours coming out, that you're more of a teacher or that you're more of a solution architect as
Mhm.
technology becomes literally less and less needed by human beings because the machines
Correct.
start to do it for us. But that thought process, at the end of the day, I don't know that machines are ever going to actually be able to be innovative enough to think for us. Maybe someday. I would love to see it in my lifetime, where we actually become maybe obsolete and we can all retire the moment that we are
Yep.
born. But I think for the time being, as we continue to transform and move into this new realm, as we look
Mhm.
out to some of these other tenements or temperaments, that we look to see where is our secondary core at, so we can start to
Correct.
transform our core and our secondary into something that's a lot more valuable by having that lattice or multiple tenants that we'd go after.
Mhm. Yeah, agree. I just wanted to tell you about Maya Shankar. She started as a violinist, then she had an injury and she couldn't play violin. She moved on to become a neuroscientist. Then she got bored with that because she thought that she's not making an impact like she thought she would. And she moved to Obama's administration. I think climate change or something to do with sustainability. She was there, and then now she just does podcasts. So she changed based on what seemed right for her. So you can't say that she had a musician's temperament and now that she was injured, now she can't do anything. So yeah, you have to keep stretching yourself to get out of the comfort zones and learn new skills. So these are some of the frameworks which can be used for personality assessment, personality changes, but these give you very good indications about how you respond to expectations and the big five, which is evaluating you on the five psychological traits, and DISC is four traits. Either you are like type A, D type, where you are driving, I is influencing, S is stabilizing, and C is compliance. So if you talk to a D, they will not do any small talk. They will say, I need this, do it. I will have a little small talk. How are you? How was your weekend? Things like that. And then slowly go into what they need. S is they are slower than I's, so you have to go even more slower. And C will absolutely not do anything that is not under the rules. So if you know what kind of temperament people have, you can not only just choose your career also, but you also learn how to deal with different temperaments. So you can use these assessments just for discovering yourself. I have done hundreds of these. Each one gives me something new to think about, and um, you can actually mail me. I can share those links. Most of them are free. You can do it on your own. Oh, okay. So yeah, we spoke about this already. Role personality alignment. If you are aligned, you have great job satisfaction, professional growth, and if you are self-aware, you can make career decisions that use your strengths. So I can tell you about my experience. So I already said I worked most of my career with GE, and then I worked for Amazon, which was a totally different culture, totally different expectations, roles. Very, very painful for me, but growing. I grew so much, learned so much. And then, of course, Chick-fil-A was, again, 180-degree culture. Amazon was most customer obsessed company. Chick-fil-A is most employee obsessed company, and they have their own quirks. So if you are self-aware and you can actually assess other people and what is the expectations, you can do really well. Anybody want to share any personal experience on this matter?
Yeah, hey Vikram. So this is a great topic and discussion. I think with all the technological changes and everything, AI, everything coming, I think we all have to rethink our work, career, everything. I think, as you said, you need to know what is going to break when the weather is bad, rather
Yes,
than thinking about the weather itself.
correct.
So if all these technologies are coming and if they are going to dominate the workplace and your personal lives,
Right,
one needs to understand how that is going to be, how that is going to affect, and what is, so you can prepare for the
right,
future. Yeah, I think it is a great. So even in my corporate world also, we have a lot of trainings, but I think corporate world is not preparing people for future. They are just still the old way of trainings.
right.
I think it is time we need to change that.
Yeah. Yeah, and with shrinking budgets, everybody plays safe, right? I mean, corporate world doesn't like surprises. So usually only the keeping the lights on functions are funded. Whenever
Yeah.
there is uncertainty, it's like the ostrich buries its head, right? It's like that. They don't want to do anything which is going to threaten them. So then the only person who is going to take care of your career is you. You can't really
See,
depend on.
the
Yeah,
management management also, I think the managers also are not thinking in a different way because they're also
Right.
coming from the old way of thinking, right? I think
Right.
you have to you have to train the trainer first. So
Yeah.
I think top level CEO, CTO kind of people, they need to see this and push it downstream. Then only this is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are luckier than others. It happens in their companies. But most of the time you have to fend for yourself. So this is a famous book by Marshall Goldsmith. He's an executive coach. It has this thing: "What got you here won't get you there."
Yeah.
So usually you would like to climb the ladder, like it shows here in the book cover, right? Junior, senior manager, director, all those things, right? But sometimes what happens is once you move, I have spoken to few folks who have moved, who have like big teams, but they are not having that satisfaction which they used to have when they were individual contributors. So sometimes what happens is there is misalignment with personal values, certain things you don't have to deal with when you are an individual contributor. But when you move up, it's like, I think once a colleague said, welcome to the dark side. So certain things which you wouldn't have touched, you would have to go get involved in those, and it's not comfortable. And sometimes there is risk of burnout. Very few people I see are able to manage this, and everybody wants to do a good job, and they just focus on their job delivery, and the health and relationships, everything takes a hit. So yeah, you have to really think about things instead of jumping just because it's a bigger title or a bigger payout.
Yeah.
So this is one thing which is formally given an option to move, do lateral career moves where you don't move up, but you move into a different function of the business. So if you get a chance and you feel that this is going to give you variety of experience, then go ahead and take those roles. Keep acquiring new skills. Always think about what your boss needs, what your organization needs, and then work backwards from there. Because if you have a parallel track that, okay, I'm going to learn something totally different, that's not really required as an insurance for learning. Maybe you can do that, but if you want to grow in your current role, you will have to actually think like the business owner and not just restrict yourself to technology, but learn why something is needed, and what are the business drivers. And these are the three things. When I learned this in a course called Executive Conversations. When you talk to an executive who has the check signing authority, they don't care about the great technology you have. You might have AI, and you might have cloud and analytics and predictive analytics. They don't really care. What they care about is three things. Whatever solution you are proposing, does it increase my revenue and my profits? Does it reduce my cost? And does it help me in my cash flow? If whatever you're proposing doesn't address these three, you're wasting the time. Simple. So always try to connect what you're doing with the business driver and how it can help the business make more money, save more money, or manage cash flow. So yeah, so do lateral moves when it makes sense, and learn new things. So here I would like to talk about Dyson. Dyson, you know, the vacuum cleaner, right? So Dyson CEO, he actually built it from scratch, and whatever mentors he had, he liked one of the mentors who he would ask him for directions. He says, just go there, pick up the thing, and just do it. And why are you even asking me? So he said one thing I liked a lot. Anything new, you can actually learn in 6 months. If you give that focus and you give that intention. You can actually learn that thing in 6 months. Yeah, you won't be world's best, but you will know enough to be impactful and meaningful. So this is some of the top regrets. So I checked sites like Reddit, and there's a site called Teamblind where all these people are um, just expressing all their negative feelings about what's going on with their job and things like that. So senior engineers sometimes regret that they did not diversify their skills. They just kept like getting a deeper and deeper expert in one narrow specialty until it was either offshored or automated. Pivoting roles, which is scary when you are comfortable in your own comfort zone. They avoided that. And sometimes you should learn by understanding what your seniors did wrong instead of you just repeating the thing. Okay, so everybody wants success without stress, and it's a little bit of philosophy. And whenever you are working just for me and my family, basically, then you're bound to be stressed because it's actually selfish, and you know that in your heart of hearts. So if you dedicate your work to a bigger unit than you and your family, like your team, organization, community, country, the world, the bigger the unit, the less stress you will have. This comes directly from Vedanta philosophy, and I don't think many of us think like this because we want to advance in our career, do well, so we think only about ourselves. And most of the time, the question in our mind is, what is going to happen to me? Uh, think of a labor leader who represents the labor union. They can walk into the CEO's office without appointment because they are not doing it for themselves, they are doing it for the union. So when you connect your work to a higher purpose, it results in less stress, and you feel very good that you're working for a higher purpose, not just to advance in your career and make more money. Those will come. Those are side effects. Those should not be your main focus. Your main focus is to do a good job that is going to benefit your company or your industry. Uh, and that is noticed. The more you serve, people know that you have um, you have what it takes, and you are given leadership of things. Huh. Of course, we talked about adaptability. Just not just focus on hard skills like technical expertise, also focus on people skills, soft skills, learn how to assess people. And there's this framework of assess, accept, and enjoy. So if a person is very aggressive, they are not just being aggressive to you, they are aggressive to everyone. So you're hoping that why is this person so aggressive? That's not going to help you. So if you just accept them for their nature, you assess them correctly, then you can actually deal with them much easier. Instead of just thinking about why won't he do like this or why won't she do like that. So that's one. And most important, avoid burnout by learning to say no. I was very bad at this, still getting out of this. I think first time I said no was at Amazon when my boss asked me to develop something. I don't like development. And I said no, and I thought that okay, he's going to fire me now. But he said no, there's another person in the team. He can do that. That's okay if you don't want to do that. So learn to say no to things that are going to suck your energy. Avoid all-nighters. Sometimes there are very psychological reasons why we do this. It's like overcommitment or pressure to prove ourselves, and that usually leads to burnout. And so don't sacrifice your well-being by going beyond healthy limits, because once you are done, you will end up with health problems which you are stuck with, and your company is not going to come and take care of you. You take your time away from family and give it to your company, and when you are sicker and older, it's your family that has to take care of you. So give time to your family, to your relationships, and of course, always play to your strengths. Do not try to improve your weaknesses. Whatever is your weakness is someone else's strength. Just give it to them, take their help to get it done. Don't try to be everything. Just play to your strengths. So this is a book, one of my favorite books, by Jim Camp. Know the only negotiating system you need for work at home. That's all. Just say no. So again, burnout. These are from Reddit and FAANG veterans. Again, they are all cribbing about this. They face long hours, high pressure, constant deadlines, and chasing prestige sometimes without boundaries can compromise health and growth. You have to establish boundaries, say no, take breaks. And one of the things which personally I have struggled with is seeking support, seeking peer support. For better or worse, since I started my career, we were left to ourselves, fend for ourselves. We didn't have much guidance or mentorship technically, so we had to figure out everything on our own, and that was a strength, but in a different environment that becomes a weakness, because it's a new environment and you don't know, and if you don't ask for help, nobody will know you even need help, and then when you fail, um, it's not a good thing. You could have actually avoided it by asking for support. So ask for support always. It's not going to make you look weak. It is better to accept your imperfections and let people know where you need help, instead of pretending and showing that you are so strong nothing can budge you. Again, work-life balance. Sometimes you are not able to maintain it. I understand sometimes work calls for it, but don't make it a habit. Like every weekend do this, don't do that. Push back on it. If your employer had their way, some employers, they would make you work 24/7. That's why they like AI so much, because it works 24/7. Just needs electricity and compute, and a lot of water, of course. So the cost of constant hurdle is, I see so many of my friends who look so much older than they are, because we recently went on a vacation to Florida, and two of the ladies, they were throughout working on calls in the place where we stayed. So that takes a toll eventually. Right now it feels like it's great, I'm on holiday and I'm working and I'm having best of both worlds, but yeah, it doesn't, long-term effects are not good. So again, setting boundaries, prioritize tasks, learn what are your priorities. If at work you don't know, ask your manager, ask your manager's manager, talk to seniors who have been in this role, and engage in activities that promote relaxation. Take some time out, laugh, see a movie, whatever lights you up, do that. So this is a question: when you move up, there is always this thing. I still know of many of my friends who have chosen to stay technical and they have refused promotions. They could have moved on to people leader and people process. So usually you look at it in this framework, is in the beginning of your career, you are actually doing the product or the service. you are actually working on the product or service that is required directly. Then when you move up a little bit, you are working on the process for the people who are developing the product. And when you move even higher, then you are actually dealing with people who are creating those processes for the people who are doing the product. So product, process, and people, that's the hierarchy. And as you grow up, in the beginning and product, you get very black and white and very, very clear instructions. When you go to process, it becomes hazier. It's not so well laid out. You have to figure things out. And when you go to people, it's even more, because think of it, the CEO of the company, they deal only with people. They just need to know how to assess the metrics, see whether whatever vision has been set, they're going there, and just deal with people. So it's even more hazy. So as you move up, there is no like a well laid out structure. This is what you're going to do. If you're in support, you get like these are the tickets you have to work on. If you're a dev, then these are the programs you have to develop. Such thing doesn't come. Many a time it's you don't have all the information and you have to just make a bet and go. So if that is something you want to do that. Many companies have this technical track where you go up to like a VP level, you're called a distinguished engineer, but not all companies have that. So just see, I mean, self-discovery and what you would like to do, or maybe you can actually experiment. You can try this role and see whether you like it, you would like to do this, whether you want to leave your comfort zone and try something new. And if you don't like it, then you can always come back to technology. Also, the way corporate America and most of the corporates are structured, if you want to grow in your career, you have to move to people or process roles. That will actually extend your career longevity. It'll improve your human skills, leadership, communication, influencing, critical thinking, thinking out of the box, and always identify what energizes you and delegate tasks that drain you to someone for whom those are energizers. Don't try to push yourself to do things that drain you. It's easier than you think. You just have to ask, and it'll get done. Many of the time, we are telling ourselves stories which are not true, that it's all up to me. You have all these platitudes, right? If it's got to be, it's up to me, and all those. It's not. You need to take help. Okay, future proofing your IT skill set. We already talked about AI, and AI is most of the friends I spoke with, and even Chick-fil-A and others. What I see is the Chick-fil-A chief digital officer. He said, usually the way we are growing, I would have predicted that we'd have double the people in IT in 10 years. But now with AI coming, I think we'll just go 25%. We are going to give you AI tools, train you on AI tools, so you can actually do more with the tools instead of actually giving your team members. And contrary to what I previously said, to be a specialist, he actually said that not every role will be filled up in a team. So maybe you won't have a technical product owner, maybe you won't have a QA analyst, maybe you won't have a developer. So if you can actually learn those things, which is like a generalist thing, then it's going to help the company. So different places have different requirements, but what you must understand is for the business, costs are a big thing, and you as an employee are a cost. So any way they can reduce that, they will reduce it. Any work that can be done by AI automation technology, it will be delegated to AI automation technology. It won't be done by a person. There was a time back in 2006 when I had come, we used to have a guy who used to create Unix users. We'd open a ticket and he would issue the user add command to create our user in the Unix server. That job is long gone. and all such jobs will be long gone. There was a time we had in GE armies of support teams in help desk, and you just call them and they'll be with you for hours. All that went away. It's mostly self-service. You want to reset your password, self-service. You are facing some issue, read this wiki page. Only when you have exhausted all those options, then you actually get a human. Even when you call other companies, you seldom get a human. It's all automated recorded voices, and many AI bots now. So be aware of AI, automation, talent trends, because it's coming fast. It's coming so fast that most of the companies don't know. Even the companies that have spent billions of dollars on AI, they are not making any money. OpenAI is in 12 billion loss, and for this year and next year. But because they enjoy the mind share, they have been able to raise that money. So how to keep your skills relevant and valuable? So learn about these human skills: strategic thinking, creativity, leadership, not just technology, and keep thirst for knowledge alive, continuous learning habits about not just technology, but what are how the industry is changing. Many times everyone else sees it, but the company. Many examples you can give of Kodak. Kodak used to have the digital camera technology, but they never really went ahead with it, and now they are history. And there is this, as I said, we talk about AI, right? So there are these two books, actually one book. This is written by two people who are in the East Coast, and there's some other researchers who are on the West Coast. They think completely opposite. What the East Coast people are saying is this is all snake oil. Nobody's actually able to use AI, and 86-87% of AI projects have not delivered on the promise. So just realize all this and don't just go into assumptions that this is going to take over humanity. On the other hand, the West Coast researchers, one of whom was in actually OpenAI, and they said that it's just a matter of time that is going to just take over all the jobs, everything. So there's a difference in thinking between East Coast and West Coast. East Coast is very conservative. West Coast think like everything can be just automated with technology, and um, we don't really need people and humans and things like that. They have a very utopian kind of view. Elon Musk is like that, and many of the founders there, they want to change the world, go to Mars, and not deal with problems here. So this is this is a tweet by Nassim Taleb, and I really like this because a lot of people ask me about, I'm scared AI will take over my job. So what Nassim said is, let me be blunt. Those who are afraid of AI feel deep down that they are imposters and have no edge. If you have, number one, a clear mind, number two, a deep, not just cosmetic understanding of your specialty, and then number three, and or are original enough to reinvent yourself when needed, AI will be your friend. So I really like this. It's very uplifting, which pushes back on the general agenda that robots and AI are coming to just take over. So yeah, if you want to grow, if you want to achieve anything, you must first clarify where you want to go, and then you can actually work backwards. And there are many frameworks that can help to define and prioritize. I have myself gone through career coaching, and that clarified a lot of things for me. Some of the things which I was afraid of telling anyone, I was able to tell my career coach, and she said that she corrected some of the things I was thinking because I'm more of a black and white binary thinker. And she said that's not how. Uh, some things are black and white, most of the things are gray. So when you want to transition, say I want to become like a IT career coach and do coaching, executive coaching, eventually leave corporate life and do that, because retirement is not in my philosophy. I'm going to work till I drop dead. So I can't be working for corporate all my life, following arbitrary rules and whatever the manager says or the company says. So if you go through this exercise, it actually helps you identify certain things, maybe your shadow, maybe your unmet needs, and you can actually build on that. You don't have to. In my binary thing, it was like, okay, stop the job, start the coaching. No, that's not how. That's a sure road to ruin. So be in the job and start doing this on the side and keep building it. And once you are able to match your income with that, then maybe leave it. That's a more prudent approach. So uh, keep advancing in your career. I can share career frameworks which will help you think about it in a structured way. But as like going back to what my daughter said, the day of just doing one job is gone. You have to do multiple things, and you won't have a single employer. There's something called Hollywood model. When a movie is made in Hollywood, all the experts get together. The actors, directors, cameramen, stuntmen, cinematographers, sound specialists. They get together, make the movie, and then they disband. And then they meet again when another movie is made. So there is no employment there. There is just coming together of teams, delivering a product, and then disbanding. And that's what it's going to become like. Every company I hear is cutting down on hiring. There's a lot of layoffs and things like that. And IT as it was 20, 30 years back is not the same. It's never going to be the same. So yeah, common pitfalls, by specialization. If you are in infrastructure, you're developer, security, pre-sales. And so infrastructure challenges, sometimes you encounter issues with scalability, system downtime. Developers have to face pitfalls like technical debt. No developer wants to work on another one's code. They all want to write fresh code. But now with AI coming, you will always be working with someone else's code. So these are some mindsets a developer has to change. And security risk, it's like very hot now because of AI again. It actually makes it more difficult to detect. So they have to always think ahead, think like a hacker. Pre-sales, aligning solutions to customer needs. So I was in pre-sales at AWS. I was part of professional services, and the amount of people we had to convince, because nobody is willing to take the hit on their name. So it's always like 10 people, everybody has to say yes, only then the deal is signed. That takes a long time. Sometimes it's 18 months to 2 years since the first contact we have till the papers are signed. So that's difficult because pre-sales and sales are numbers based and you have to meet your targets. But these are some of the realities, and there are ways to uh, meet your targets and think about it differently. So if you create your own career architecture, um, you must align your skills with your roles. You must make sure that your personal values are aligned with your career planning, and what you do is actually giving you satisfaction, fulfillment, something you can be proud of. Again, you have to be adaptable to change, and change is the nature of the world. Everything in this world changes. Everything that is born dies. Now happening even faster. Windows 95 30 years ago was a thing. It lasted only 3 years. Windows 98 came. So a lot of things have very short shelf lives. And many of the finance and all these, they don't like change. They are hugging their mainframes and old systems. They don't want to change. But a time comes when the last person who could support it is retired, and then they are forced to, and then it's an emergency. So be adaptable. Be thinking about what is next and what can I do to be prepared for what's coming. Regret is a good thing if it helps you actually correct errors and move forward. But if you ignore personal fulfillment, don't focus on transferable skills development, and miss any pivot opportunities where you can move laterally, later on you might regret that could have been something else. There was a person on Blind who was saying, I have 1.7 million net worth. I used to work for FAANG and I am now in Bali. But sometimes I get jealous that the people who are with the FAANG are now 3 million. So, I mean, if you have decided to retire and go to Bali, just live there while look at your old colleagues. So again, conclusion, recognize industry strengths, trends, align your strengths, manage stress, and future-proof your skills. So that concludes. I don't have a offer page where I'm going to sell you something. I'll just share my email. Anybody is interested in further guidance, we can set up some time and talk, and we can see how I can help you and if it makes sense to do a partnership and explore that. So any questions from anyone? It's like we are almost at time. Yes.
I don't have a question, but first of all, I want to thank you for doing this. But in you're talking about making changes proactively in your life, in your career. You reach these pivot points in your life, and many
Right.
people are at the pivot points right now, especially with the market trends and industry trends going on right now.
Correct.
And I'm actually a personal embodiment of some of this. In fact, you yourself have had a role to play in some of that. So, when I didn't embrace change myself in the past, and change was thrust upon me, I took it upon myself. At a great pain, to at a great personal cost and pain, to then reinvent myself, and then suddenly, things took a rapid turn to the positive, and I was able to accomplish things which I wasn't able to do for years and years before that. So sometimes, if that change can be, while painful, can be extremely beneficial and maybe even therapeutic in the long run.
Right.
So it is very difficult to get yourself to be part of that change. And all these things that you've talked about in future proofing your skills and recognizing industry trends, it takes effort, right? And it takes personal sacrifice, and that personal sacrifice can make all the difference between marginal success and great success, or maybe even success and failure.
Right. Yeah. Anyone else?
Vikram, Rekha here. Thank you for inviting me. I think, I know quite a few people on this call, but I know most of you are on the IT side. I shifted to the business side. And I think all the stuff that you said, I could relate to it because I think I've evolved quite a bit in my journey in Synchrony. And I think I've used all the tools and techniques that you've talked about to evolve myself. I've gone through the struggles. I completely agree that if you just do your work, and which is the belief that we all believe in mostly, that if you're working hard, if you're doing a great job, people will notice you and you'll get your promotion. But that's not how it works. The world doesn't work like that. So I've gone through that. I've stood up and raised my hand. I proved to people, I told people why I deserve to be promoted. And then as far as the later part of your presentation, talking about how you embrace the change. So I can just tell you, and we can have a separate session where I can talk about my own experiences in the last few years.
Of course.
But I've raised my hand. There was no monetary benefit, but I wanted to be in the midst of AI. And you know it very well. I'm not technical. I've always been functional.
Yep.
So that helps me. But I've raised my hand. I'm in the midst of AI. this whole year I've spent in that, time in that. So I think we can have a separate session if people are interested to find out how I transitioned over to what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, we can definitely have
But
that.
thank
Yeah.
you.
You're most welcome, Rekha.
Hey, Vikram.
Any other points from anyone? Anything that should have been covered, has not been covered? What is on your mind? What worries you? What keeps you up at night?
Vikram, great session. Fantastic. The only regret that I have is how come, I never attended such type of sessions, maybe 10 years back or maybe 15 years back. But hey, you know what? Not too late. Better late than never.
Yeah.
Fantastic session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'll just share my email address. You can reach out to me.
Vikram, this is Manish. Thank you so much for the session, like everyone. But one thing I would say in the end, if you could give just one, maybe two, maybe three specific actions for people to do. Like right now, what I have to do is go through it, figure out very specific things. But if you give like, these are the next two things that you can do, even if they are generic in nature, that's fine, but they help someone continue from this session into their real life while they figure out everything else.
Yeah. We can talk about a specific situation, but the things are the same, right? Those four things which are there in the conclusion.
Right, but how? But how, right? Like the one or two specific steps.
Yeah, so
Even if you end up
I
just
have
sorry,
go ahead.
even if you just end up saying that, go read this book, go read that blog, or go work out, whatever that happens to be, like one or two specific steps.
Yeah. So I've had specific questions where people have asked, should I do AI? Or this question was common to a lot of people where they said, tell me something by acquiring that skill, I'll be safe for next 10 years. So again, I'll have to speak with you about your specifics, but usually it's you want to remain relevant, you want to advance in your career, right? Get promoted. You want so different people have different needs, right? Some people want like titles, some people don't care about titles, they just want the money. Some people want both. Some people want meaning. So based on where you are, um, once you set your goal that okay, this is where I want to reach. So this is an Amazon process called working backwards. So usually what we used to do, we go to a company and then there'll be teams. One team will just take them out of their mindset that this is not possible. So there's a story of Bob Proctor giving a seminar to salespeople, and he said, make your goal $1 million for this year. And one of the guys went and told him, do you realize nobody in this company has ever made $1 million in sales, one person. And Bob Proctor said, you can be the first one. So many stories we tell ourselves that this is not possible, we can't do it. They are just stories. You have to be willing to take a step, stick your neck out, and take that fall if it needs to be. Going back to Taleb, you have to be anti-fragile, meaning take risks that actually grow you. An anti-fragile system is one which benefits from the shocks it gets, but be aware, don't take shocks that is going to kill you. Make small experiments, take those shocks, and you get the feedback, because whenever you make a decision, you will never have all the data you need. You probably have 50-60% data. So the best way is to just do small experiments and see where it goes. If you want I want a guarantee. Okay. Only thing guarantees death in this life. There is no guarantee. You can only set goals, set the roadmap to get to those goals, and keep executing what you do day to day, and adjust based on feedback you get from outside world. That's basically how to get to anywhere.
Yeah.
It is tough. It requires a lot of self-discovery, self-knowledge. A lot of beliefs have to be crushed, which we might have got when we were kids. You might have heard of the story where a big elephant is just tied with a small rope, and it never tries to break because when it was a baby, they tied and it was not able to break that. But now it has grown up, it still thinks it can't break. So don't be that elephant. You have to crush your childhood blockers. Otherwise, you will just stay where you are. You will not make the kind of progress and moves that actually take you to a totally different league. There's this thing, right? In our training, when you talk to a CEO or somebody in the C-suite, if they have their antennas up because their time is very precious. If you sound like an IT guy, they will delegate you to an IT guy. They will not give you the time of the day. So whoever you are talking with, you have to talk their language. You have to do those things which will instinctively make them feel that you're part of the tribe. If you don't, then you are going to delegate it to the person you sound like. So lots of things to learn, lots of things to do. And you can send me an email. We can set up some time and discuss about your specific goals. So we are out of time. Anybody has anything else, or we'll close this webinar?
It was a great session, Vikram. Thank you so much. Full of insights, and even I could relate to my career experiences. So thank you so much for the session.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. I think there'll be many more, and Rekha gave a good idea. We can actually plan sessions where people share their experiences. That's beneficial to all. You don't need to learn everything hands-on on your own. You can always learn from others' experience. You don't have to experience everything. You don't have to become a drug addict to know that drugs are bad for you. So we'll end with that, and until we meet next time.
Thank you, Vikram.
Thank you,
Thank
Vikram.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.